Good afternoon, and welcome to Best Listener Ever. The time right now is 4:01 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm your host for this program. We are live. Thank you for joining us, those of you who have. Thank you for tuning in to the rebroadcast. We want to start on time. We will always endeavor to start on time. We will always endeavor to end on time. I have this set up for an hour, so I'm going to use my hourglass, having just started it, a little bit behind, but if we go to 103, that'll be all right. I don't know if anyone has, 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 people have viewed the first live we did on Thursday. And I'm grateful for that. There are a couple of people I told it was there. Some people viewed it for however long it took them to view it, or before they got bored, they tuned out. We are here to do a YouTube channel. And as you can see in the title, which I'm pretty sure it came up today, that for which I am not here. I'll have plenty of time to tell you why I am here, but for the time being, the thrust of this particular program is to tell you why I am not here. To recap some of the previous content, I'm a 68-year-old Black man. I live in Texas. I'm a retiree. And that's basically all you need to know about me, other than the views and opinions that I share here with you, which I hope I won't have to do a whole lot of that, because this is meant to be a talk show. That is to say, a call-in talk show, or in this case, a click-in talk show. I'm the only one who's obligated to cam up, as they say. If you want to cam up, you can cam up, but I will not obligate you to cam up. That is, clam up. The reason being, a lot of people are not comfortable showing their faces on a live stream, and I can't blame them for that. When I did radio, needless to say, there were no cameras in studio, but I'm not camera shy. I'm not any more better looking than I was 20, 30 years ago, but I am not ashamed of the way I look. I think I can pass, for presentable. And I think that as opposed to doing an audio podcast, I'd much rather do what I'm doing now, because the camera adds a visual element that you just don't have in an audio podcast. And I've committed to doing this. I might as well cam up. But you're invited to do it if you want to. I will not obligate you to do it. There are a lot of schools of thought on that. But since I'm not here to fight with anybody, I'm not worried about anybody trolling me. I doubt if there'll be enough people ever interested in tuning this in to troll me at all. What am I not here to do? Well, there's a long list of things that I am not here to do. I'm not here to fix your relationships. I'm not here to empower you as a Black community, a white community, or any other kind of community. The whole idea of empowering people to do things implies that you have power to empower them with. And most of the people that I hear talk about empowering anybody, it doesn't add up. You have to have some power to empower anybody or anything. Classic example. Your car won't start. You assume that the battery is dead. So you wheel over another battery to start your car. Well, if the battery has power in it, you can start your car. But if the battery that you're trying to start your car with is dead, the car won't start. So for people who like to walk around talking about empowering, specifically the Black community, have some power to empower. Now, if I refer a lot to the Black community, which I will qualify in another live what community means, because it doesn't mean what people generally make it out to mean. We'll talk more about that, but I'm not going into that today. I'm not here to promote Black business. I'm not here to build a school. I'm not here to build a playground. I'm not here to build a swimming pool. I'm not here to do anything except listen. To qualify the Best Listener Ever title, as I said in the previous live, if you, any one of you, can recommend to me someone who's a better listener than you find me to be, that will listen to you for free, let me know so I can contact them and I'll have somebody to listen to. That's very plain, very simple, very straightforward. I'm not going to go back and recap my experience. I don't think that's necessary. Suffice to say, I've done a lot of listening, both as a volunteer at a radio station, doing a talk show, and as a professional bureaucrat for the state. I did a lot of listening. And it's just in my nature to do. I've always been that way. Quicker to listen than to speak. Now, any talking I do on this live or any other is only going to be done in the absence of you clicking on the link, which I will always provide you. And then I will let you do the talking. Fair enough? Fair enough. I am not here, needless to say, to show how tough and rough and tough and smart and knowledgeable and experienced I am. Nobody cares about that. Basically, my philosophy on talk shows is that people don't tune into talk shows to listen to or see the host. They tune in to talk shows to listen to and or see the guests. I'm not going to call them callers because this is not about calling by way of telephone. That's 20th century. If you click on the link that I will provide, you are a guest and you will be treated with the courtesy of a guest. And you will be expected to comport yourself as a guest in someone's home, because that's kind of what this is, isn't it? After all, I'm not here, as you can see in the crawler there. I'm not here to talk about someone talking about someone else, talking about someone else, talking about someone else. I'm not here for that. There are too many channels which build their entire presentation on what someone else has said, done, or what they think about what that person or persons have said or done. I am not here for that. I realize that's a lot of people's bread and butter, and that likes, views, subscribers, monetization, income are all contingent upon likes and views. You can see I'm not looking for your money. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm not even trying to increase my income. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do. I think it's a wonderful thing to do. I think that if people are deriving income from YouTube channels, I think that's a wonderful thing for them. I just don't happen to want to be the one doing it. That may seem odd, but I think as we get to know one another, you will understand if you're of a mind to understand. Now, other things I am not here to do. I am not here to take sides with anybody, against anybody. I don't pick sides. The thing I learned about sides was there's some good and some bad on either side you can pick. And the perception of whose side you should be on, your perception of whose side you should be on, is often colored by elements that you probably have no idea about, other than the way they look, the way they sound, who else is on their side, and what people are going to think of you if you're not on their side. In other words, let's take X YouTuber. And if X YouTuber's name came up on this program site, and I said, oh, I like that YouTuber. Well, a lot of people would like me for liking that YouTuber. At the same time, a lot of people would dislike me for liking that YouTuber. Right? Right. That's the way it goes. They call it riding with X YouTuber. Well, I didn't come here to ride with anybody. I'm not the ride or die type, because I don't just subscribe or sign on to or co-sign with anybody on anything. I don't have to. People say, well, don't you have any friends, or don't you want to have friends? Don't you want to be popular? No, not particularly. What good is your friendship or your admiration or your agreement going to do me? If you don't like this channel, you can feel free to click dislike. I will accept dislikes as freely as I would accept a like. I would ask you to like, share, and subscribe, simply because that's how notifications supposedly go out. Not supposedly, for people who are monetized or whatever they do to get money. Whether they get a lot of money or little money depends on the viewers' likes, shares, and subscriptions. I would like for as many people as possible to see these presentations. I would like for as many people as possible to click on the link and engage in the program. What kind of engagement am I talking about? When I was doing radio, especially the midnight program, I invited people to engage with me in what I referred to as dialectic interaction. Dialectic interaction. I'm not trying to be hoity-toity about any of this. I'm just trying to be clear about what I'm trying to do here. Dialectics, you can look it up. Dialectics. Dialectics is a process of examining ideas and opinions logically, often through the method of question and answer, so as to determine their validity. It's the easiest thing in the world to turn on a camera and a microphone and just start spouting. I've done it. But I always wanted to have some idea of what I was talking about. And if by chance my talking about something enticed people to call in and give their opinion, if our opinions differed, that was the best of all possible worlds, because then we could ask each other questions, we could challenge one another, and we could perhaps reach a new understanding. I learned a lot like that. I always did, and I always will, because I can't think of everything. I don't know everything, and I'm not right about everything. Let me give you an example. Nowadays, if you look back on the Obama administration's. Oh, by the way, that's Obama on the wall back there. He's hanging upside down. Someone will have to ask me why he's hanging upside down, but you probably didn't recognize him because you can't see his teeth. He's not smiling in that particular portrait. That's why it's on my wall, and that's why it's hanging upside down. I sometimes refer to him as Count Chocula, but that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that too. I may do a whole presentation on that. But today, in 2022, it's not unusual for people to say, well, during the 8 years of the Obama administration, Obama didn't do anything for black people or to further black people's cause. You can say that now and get away with it. And you'd be right because it's true. Okay? But this is 2022. When Obama burst upon the scene in 2004 at the Democratic National Convention, I watched him speak. I was not impressed. And as time went on, and it became clear that he was going to be the Democratic Party candidate for the White House in 2008, a lot of people were very jubilant. They were very expectant. Oh, they were overjoyed. They were over the moon, as they say, at the possibility of what I like to call then, and still call, an identifiably black man to be president. But I was not impressed. I still am not impressed. I will never be impressed by Obama. Now, let me just pause right here because a lot of people are already saying he's supposed to say President Obama. He's President Obama. He's not the president anymore. I don't know why. I'll explain that. I don't know whether they think I'm going to having trouble connecting. Maybe so, but we're back now. As I was saying, a lot of people will take exception to the fact that I say Obama without putting president in front of it. I don't have to observe that convention. I am 68 years old, and nobody tells me what conventions I have to observe. Okay? You may say, well, he's just old. We can't do nothing with him, no way. And you'd be right. You'd be absolutely right on both counts. Number one, I am old. And number two, you can't do anything about me, with me, to me, for me, or anything else involving me. Let's be very clear, y'all. I'm a likable person. I am a very likable person. I can be very likable. I can be positively charming. If you were to meet me and spend some time with me, I used to tell people, you'd want to adopt me. You want to take care of me, nurture me. I'm just that kind of guy. I can be very nice. But I have not lived this long worrying about whether people like me or liked me or accepted me. I have never spent a lot of time considering those things. I have to confess that I have been considered arrogant, and I think that's fair to say. But you have to understand, arrogance is in some people's DNA. I know it's in mine. I come from a long line of arrogant people. on both sides of the family. So I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to gather a following. I'm not here to be an influencer. I'm here to listen. I'm here to listen. If I can just figure out how to work this camera to the extent I need to. This is why I'm here, right here. Okay? This is why I'm here, to be the best listener ever. If you're just tuning in, that's the name of the channel. The overall challenge is, if anybody out there can identify a better listener than I am, please let me know so I can contact them and I'll have somebody to listen to. Okay? Okay. We talked a little bit about how frequently we were going to do these programs, these presentations. The first one I did was Thursday. I like the 4 o'clock time frame just for consistency at this point. But when I become comfortable going live properly, tell you the truth, I'm subject to go live anytime I want to. And don't let me get 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 people who subscribe. Don't let me get 10 subscribers. If I get 10 subscribers, that'll be all I need. It's not about numbers for me, because it's not about money for me. I'm no better than anyone who does want to make money on YouTube. I'm no better than they are. It's just that I don't need the money. I don't need the aggravation of having to watch what I say based on the possibility of someone not liking it, not sharing it, and unsubscribing. I have a tendency to make people mad. It's one of the things I'm good at. Used to be anyway. I'm not here to be confrontational. I used to be very confrontational. I used to be very bombastic. I would bang on the desk during the broadcast. I would raise my voice. I would talk all rough. Oh man, I was a terror. But now I'm a man of peace. Peace. I want to keep the peace. I'm not here necessarily to prove a point. I value peace over proving a point. After I saw the first presentation show up in my playlist, I went back and I viewed the whole thing. Let me tell you why. While I was doing radio, I always found it useful to play back the recording of a program, sometimes twice. Listen to it twice to pick up on my mistakes, to get an idea what I could have done better, to get an idea what I should not have done or should not have said. So that presentation, as this presentation will be, is a teaching tool for me to make my presentations better, clearer, more succinct, more exact, if you will. I'm only trying to be understood, y'all. I'm only trying to be understood. When I begin, and I do mean when, I begin to interact with some of you, you will find that I'm what is commonly referred to as a code switcher. A code switcher. And all a code switcher is to me is a person who has the ability to communicate with people in terms and in a manner that puts them at ease, not condescends or what's the word I'm looking for? Panders to them. No, that's rude. But I believe I have the ability to communicate with anyone, anywhere, anytime about pretty much anything. Now, to qualify that anything, let's say I encounter a person who knows something about which I know nothing about whatsoever. Give you an example. Chemistry. I don't know anything about chemistry. But if someone called or clicked on the link and wanted to talk about chemistry, I believe I have the ability to formulate enough questions to where I can at least get an understanding of what they're trying to tell me. And hopefully, the next time that person calls in, I will have read something or researched something that will enable me to ask more questions and more intelligent questions until I get an understanding. I'm never going to learn chemistry. I'm a little too old to learn new tricks. But that's just an example. I'm going to glance out away from the camera from time to time. Number one, to give you a break from me looking, right in your face. That gets old after a while. Also, I want to provide myself with a view of the hourglass sitting here so that I can flip it over and know when I'm halfway through this program. You say, well, why use an hourglass? I'm just old-fashioned like that. I'm a very old-fashioned person. Most people who are older are old-fashioned. Now, I need to return to the crawler for a moment. You'll notice that you can't use profanity here. You can't use profanity here. I am not providing a platform for people to come in and talk any way they want to, anytime. No profanity. I'm asking you not to use it. The reason for that is that I prefer that this be an intergenerational platform. In other words, when it comes to the question of whether this channel is designed for children, I click yes. And I'm specifically referring to, I hate to call them children, but I don't like the term kids anymore. And a 12-year-old, theoretically, is a child. Now, of course, 12-year-olds are adults, a lot of them, sad to say. But I want to be able to present this program to people who are between 12 and 18 because there's a possibility they may have the capability to click in. And I believe I can learn a lot from someone who's 12 or 13 years old. Depends on how you talk to them. Depends on what you're talking about. I'd love to have that opportunity. I would prefer that they're viewing along with a parent or guardian because I'm not interested in building any communication relationships with 12 to 18-year-olds. I'm not here to build any relationships with anybody. I think the days of relationships for me are pretty much over. But don't feel sorry for me, because I'm not sorry for myself. Whenever I want to engage in interaction, I just go to YouTube. And I can find any kind of interaction I want. I don't click on people's connections. I did join one YouTube live, and if I mention that YouTuber's name, you would know that YouTuber. Yes. Very popular. Very well known. and someone who I had been watching for a long time. I just wanted to have the experience of clicking on the link and communicating with this person. Not to tell them anything, not to flatter them or anything, but the only time I would ever contact anyone would be to encourage them, get behind them and encourage them to do what they do. And I let this YouTuber know, point blank, that I enjoy what you do. I want to encourage you what you do, in what you do. I don't always agree with what you do and how you do it, but I think you do what you do quite well. And I'm pretty sure that YouTuber understood what I was saying, and I appreciated that. This is an individual whom I believe has a great depth of understanding in many ways. But you notice I haven't used a name. See, once again, once you say a name, you've drawn a line right down the middle of your presentation. Some people on this side are going to love that person. Some people on this side are going to despise that person. And then you get put in the category of people that they despise because you like the person. I have an opinion on that, but I don't think anybody's really going to care what my opinion is. Now, having said that, I want to ask you to like, share, and subscribe. Please comment. I hope that comments are enabled this afternoon. And of course, my email is in the crawler. And I welcome your emails, and I will answer your emails. And I think that after I've popped up enough times, there will be some people who will like, share, and subscribe so that they can get notifications. And we can make a shortcut between me going live and them clicking in. If you should tune into this presentation and the comment line is available to you, I wish you would comment. Please do. Please comment, because that's another learning tool. What are people perceiving about what I'm doing? Do you care? Does it resonate? Are you interested? Do you have any suggestions? I'm open to suggestions. I have to be. You have to keep an open mind. That's one of the reasons that I want this to be an intergenerational presentation or channel. If I were here to make presentations to people my age, that would be a very narrow focus. Going back to full screen now. That would be a very narrow focus. And I don't want my focus to be narrow, specifically to people who are 60 and older. I don't fool myself. I realize that people who are 50 to 60, 40 to 50, 30 to 40, much less 20 to 30, would be much interested in anything I have to talk about as a 68-year-old man. However, I believe that if I engaged in dialogue with someone in any other age group, I could find something in common to talk about with them, and I could learn from them. I am not here to advise anyone based on my being 68 years old. That's not what people tune into YouTube for. They don't get up in the morning and say, let me find some old geezer to learn about life. I don't think that's happening. I don't expect it. But I have never met anyone yet, I am proud to say, that I could not learn something from. And I strongly advise you to adopt that mindset, whatever age you are. You need to be of the mindset that you can learn something from anybody, and everybody has something to teach, whether they know it or not. We have to learn from one another. When we fail to do that, we fail not only ourselves, but each other. These are just my opinions. Everything I state here is my opinion. You're not obligated to respect it. You're not obligated to accept it. You're not obligated to even listen to it. But it is what it is. I'm going to accept and listen to your opinions. We're over the 30-minute mark. I can simply watch the clock. It's like 4:31. So we've got another 30 minutes to be with you today. I'm going to watch the numbers on views and likes, and I'm going to watch my email for comments. Please like, please share, please subscribe, but keep your money. Don't look for a Cash App. Don't look for a Patreon. Don't look for a PayPal. Don't look for any way whatsoever to forward your money to me. As I said the last time, any money you might think you might want to send to me, take it out and spend it on yourself. Okay? Now, I will play a game with you. I like games to a certain extent. The game will be played like this. A lot of people are going to wonder about the restriction against celebrity and YouTuber gossip. And they're going to want to talk about celebrities or YouTubers. I don't pay any attention to celebrities per se. But when it comes to YouTubers, I will allow you to say a person's name or name a channel. And if I'm familiar with that person and their channel, I will say something good about them. One thing, maybe two things good about them. Because I have some good opinions of some YouTubers. And I will share that with you. And if you want to take that back to that YouTuber, you can do that. Or if anybody else hears it and they want to take that good statement or good comment back to that YouTuber, then you can do that. But I'm not going to get caught up in saying something that might be considered negative about a YouTuber as a means of, like so many people do, they attack certain people. And in attacking certain people, that draws them views because there are a lot of people viewing who don't like that YouTuber. And if a YouTuber attacks another YouTuber or celebrity, then they build views on that. They get shares on that. They gain subscribers based on saying something negative, nasty. I have seen people say things about people that it's just disheartening that one person should say such ugly things about another person, regardless of why. There's some things that really don't need to be said. But that's them. And I don't fault anybody for doing that. If that's the way you want to build your YouTube platform or build your YouTube empire or build a house or buy a boat or a car or whatever, if that's what you feel you need to do that. Be the best at it. And I've seen some people go from here to here on negativity. I don't understand it. But they're not here for me to understand them any more than I'm here, and any more than I am here for them to understand. Everybody fries their own fish. Okay? That's my philosophy. I'm not here to fry anybody else's fish. So these are the things I am not here to do. I'm not here to take a seat in the beef sector, as they call it. I'm not here to pick a fight with other YouTubers. If I pick a fight, it'll be with politicians. It'll be with the media. It'll be with the lackeys of the global system of white supremacy. I will call them out. I will name them, and I will show why I'm picking a fight with them. They're not going to fight with me. Who am I? If I say something negative, who would I say something negative about? Well, let's say a journalist. I typically don't have anything positive to say about any journalist. The other day, I called them whores, which is a little harsh. I know. But I believe I have the right and the ability to refer to journalists as whores. Number one, because I took great pride in being a journalist at one time. Number two, I know what journalism is supposed to be. And number three, I don't see anybody practicing real journalism today. Oh, there are some very good reporters, some very good commentators, some very good even talking heads, I guess. But the fact of the matter is, they're only reading what someone else wrote. It's been edited and processed for them to broadcast. And they want to give you the impression that these are their ideas and opinions, that they wrote the script, that they know what they're talking about. Not only that, they're telling you the truth. And I look at that and I say, really? Okay. And they can do that. And you can watch that. And you can consider yourself well informed. And I'm talking about not just the conservative channels. I'm talking about the so-called liberal or woke channels. They're all the same. They're all whores. Whores. And I'm, I know that sounds bad, but when I use the word whore to refer to journalists, I'm only talking about people who will do anything, anywhere, say anything for money. When you sell yourself and everything you stand for money, based on what somebody else wants you to do, that makes you a whore. Now, that may sound harsh, but if that's the harshest thing you ever hear me say, you'll be doing pretty good. Because I always made a point to say harsh things. Not necessarily insulting, but harsh. To break people out of this mindset that just because it's on television, it's true. Just because it's in a newspaper, it's true. Just because the pastor said it, it's true. When nothing could be further from the truth. You notice I didn't call them liars. I call them whores. It's two different things. Well, here we are with it. I'm interested in getting some feedback. I will be interested to see if anyone uses the email. It's on the bottom. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's interact. Let's see what you have to say. If I bring up a topic, you have the right to comment on it. You will always have that right. You will always have the right to give your opinion. Okay? Okay. You don't have to think like I think. What more can I offer? What more can I offer? You're watching the Best Listener Ever channel. I'm your host. I do have a government name. When I first posted the initial presentation, my government name was under the channel. Well, I'm learning as I go along. But I realized, as I said on Thursday, that if I didn't just click go live and sit here for about an hour, see how it felt, see what happened after I finished, and wait to see if there was any reaction, that I was never going to do it. So I'm kind of doing things backward. I should have done promos. I should have done a longer setup. There are a lot of things I should have done. But I'm really enjoying the process of being live. I see that little red light up there in the corner, and gives me the time I've been on here, and it indicates to me that I am live. The only thing I'm pretty much concerned about today is that when I end the stream in Streamlab, and that it also ends in YouTube. So I'll have to immediately go over to YouTube and make sure that the stream is ended. But I'm learning, slowly but surely. I learned a lot today that I didn't know yesterday. And I'll learn a lot tomorrow that I don't know today. This is going to be a learning process for me. And I hope that you can be patient with me. And I hope that if you have some input to make, you'll make it. I know it's going to be a struggle, but I have struggled before. I have been alone before. I have been on my own before. The difference being, I didn't have to work as hard. I always had engineers in the studio to help me do radio programs. All I had to do was open the microphone, take the calls. Loved it. It's a very important part of my life. I always looked forward to it. When Skype came into existence, I decided I would try to do the program from home, from here. And I'd Skype into the station, I'd have an engineer in the station, and we'd do a Skype call. But we still used the telephone, still had a telephone line that we could pick up. And I did it like that, from here. The station's about 15 minutes away. Then we continued to use Skype, and twice a year, I would travel to Oklahoma City, where I have family. And I would take my device with me, an iPad, and it had Skype downloaded onto it. And I could do the program from Oklahoma City. And to me, that was just, Brer Rabbit was in the briar patch. And even when I was here, Brer Rabbit was in the briar patch. Because unlike these presentations, I didn't have to wear a shirt if I didn't want to. That's the nature of radio. When I was in Oklahoma City, sometimes I would go outside in the snow and maintaining the Skype connection, do the radio program. So those are pleasant memories. of my radio days, but they are over now. And it's largely because I wanted to come to YouTube before I stopped doing radio to make a sort of seamless transition, or to actually do both simultaneously. But it didn't work out like that. Doesn't matter, because I had done enough radio, and I wouldn't want to be there now under any circumstances. So sink or swim, sink or swim. This is where I belong. Those of you who want to go along with me are more than welcome. I would love to have you. I would love to have new people to communicate with. I would love to attract some of the people I interacted with in radio. I'm sure that's possible. This is a whole new universe. When I created my Instagram page, I was 66. That's roughly 2 years ago. And the statement on my Instagram page was that the devil literally lives on the internet. I believe that. I believed it then. I believe it now. And no one will ever be able to convince me otherwise. Why do I say that? Because as much of an opportunity to use the internet as a tool to build and make connections with and to do positive things, which many, many, many YouTubers do, there is also a tremendous tendency for people to misuse the internet, to weaponize the internet against other people, other individuals, other groups, other everything, even themselves. I'm not here for that. I'm here to show that you can do something positive, that you don't have to curse everybody out. You don't have to run anybody down. You don't have to criticize whoever for whatever. If you see somebody doing something that you disagree with, do something better. What does it gain me to talk about what I don't think you're doing right or well? In the first place, you don't care what I think. In the second place, my opinion is not going to persuade you to make a change. And in the third place, I'm not growing. And as old as I am, I continue to grow and I continue to learn. And that's the benefit to doing this. It enables me to grow and to learn, and perhaps assist somebody else in doing the same thing. Is that asking too much? It's certainly not asking for money. Okay. I explained my relationship to money a couple of days ago. Not that anybody cares. I don't care how many followers I attract. I don't care how many subscribers I draw. I'm not seeking monetization. I'm not seeking income. That's not why I'm here. That's not my focus. The Lord love the people who do have that focus, and I wish them the most success. But it's not for me. I made my mind up to that a long time ago. I'm not in that competition. So the competition for the money is yours to engage in, not mine. Now, we're about 5 minutes away from the end of this presentation. Like, share, and subscribe. Be sure and shoot me an email So let me know what you think. Let me hear your suggestions. If you have criticisms, those are welcome too. If you don't want to like, dislike. I learned a long time ago that for me, infamy is preferable to fame any day. Fame can be snatched out from under you in a minute. Just look around you. See all the famous people. One day they're heroes, next day they're goats for whatever reason. Now, I want to give you an example of something I said the other day. I talked about the fact that I am constantly checking in with the Daily Mail of London. The sleaziest, trashiest, grossest, hormongeringest tabloid that ever existed or ever will exist. It is unsurpassed in its ability to mine filth. I love it. Early yesterday, they had a great big banner headline about GOP Grand Old Party Representative Madison Hawthorne. You may have heard about it by now. And they had video of him in the front seat of a vehicle with an aide. And he and the aide were talking back and forth. And for some reason, the aide turned his camera into Madison Hawthorne's crotch and showed his hand reaching into Madison Hawthorne's crotch. I said, well, okay. It's the kind of thing they do. But it was definitely Madison Hawthorne. And it was definitely his aide. And that was definitely his hand in Madison Hawthorne's. If I said Hawthorne, I'm sorry. It's Hawthorne. His crotch. I said, well, this is a different kind of aid here. I understand he took the same guy with him on his honeymoon when he got married. He's not married to his wife anymore, but they all went on the honeymoon together. I guess he needed aid. I don't know. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing it up is because I went straight over to some of the mainstream media. And I didn't see anything like that. I didn't see it. I went online today and I saw a post from another publication which talked about, the video that I saw on Daily Mail, but I certainly didn't see the video in the mainstream media. So all I'm saying is this. For those of you who believe you're well informed because you watch mainstream media, no, you are not. You're being deceived. And the people on camera are being paid a lot of money to deceive you, to sit there and look concerned and informed and outraged about this, that, or the other, when they couldn't care less. That's what they're paid to do. Everything they tell, everything they say is on a reader. They call it a teleprompter. Somebody backstage wrote it, and they just fed it into the teleprompter for them to read. Hopefully, they get a chance to read through it before they go on the air. Sometimes they don't, and I think that's pretty clear. But they've become adept at reading through material that is totally unbelievable and incredible. We're at 59 minutes and 38 seconds. We're going to stop this broadcast. Thank you for watching. I don't see anybody in the live. I'm not concerned. I don't know if anybody will see the rebroadcast. I'm not concerned. I'm going to keep doing lives because I can. I have the capability. And I'm going to get better at it. And I'm going to get better about scheduling it. How about that? I'm going to get better about writing titles. I'm going to get better about writing descriptions. I may even get to the point where I have a musical introduction and skilled thumbnails. If I study hard enough, I can learn just about anything. Fact of the matter is, at 68, I'm just not in the mood to do any studying. Doesn't that sound bad? Well, when you get to be 68, you tell me how much studying you want to do. Okay. Well, I think that's about it for today. Thank you for joining us once again. I used to have catchphrases for when I would end the broadcast. I used to encourage people not to make monkeys of themselves. Number one, don't let anybody make a monkey out of you. And don't make a monkey out of yourself. Okay? So until we meet again, this is Best Listener Ever. Like, share, subscribe. Rely on the email to contact me if you have any questions whatsoever. I hope you have a great afternoon, a great weekend. I am projecting that perhaps I will come back Sunday after church for a lot of you to let things cool off. Let me do some studying and some more preparation, prior scheduling, see how that affects viewership. And we'll pick it up there. Thank you all again. And be safe, take care, and take care of each other. Have a good day.